Hey everyone, welcome back to Podcast for Your Life, the podcast where we share thoughts from our life for yours. I'm Jam, and what are we talking about today, Jason?
We are talking about infomercials.
Oh, yikes.
So for the next 30 minutes, tune in to see how we describe... No, just kidding. Yeah, infomercials, those longer commercials that are informational, telling you about certain products that you need to buy.
My life used to literally be hell, and now I'm in heaven.
Are you feeling down? I used to feel sprains in my wrist until I found a magic towel.
I was dead, but now I'm alive. Thanks to
the Weed Whacker 2000.
Thanks to the anti-hair drain stopper or whatever.
Yes. Some of them are actually really interesting. It's really interesting to watch.
Yeah,
but they always are like the same kind of fuzzy, like soap opera kind of a look.
Yeah.
And then they always have these really cheesy testimonials. But I do think the products are cool. It's like, wow, somebody really thought of this. Like that's really creative.
Yeah. Let's back up too, because it's I definitely want to get into the making fun of them as soon as possible. However, what is it about an infomercial that makes it an infomercial versus just a commercial? Like, I think most people know, but what does it cross over from commercial to infomercial?
So your average commercial, it runs anywhere from about 30 seconds, well, even less than that, 10 seconds, to about 2 minutes. It's probably the average length of most commercials. I think infomercials are going to be around 2 minutes or longer, 5 minutes. A lot of times they'll just have like a whole 30-minute segment. And what's kind of deceiving about those 30-minute ones is that you feel like you're watching a show because it opens up and it's like kind of this like, oh, okay, it's like a news broadcast or something, or a documentary or whatever. And then they give you the whole like subtle like, yeah, it's only $19.95. I love this thing. And you're like, oh, it's an infomercial.
Yeah.
And that's about maybe 5 minutes in. So you've been watching for 5 minutes of this really interesting news feature, and all of a sudden you realize, crap, it's an infomercial.
Yeah, and they have like a live audience and stuff too. They'll be like, who wants to come on down and try this blender or whatever. It's just so strange. It's such a weird hybrid of things. It's like...
Yeah, infomercials are definitely interesting. I don't know if there's necessarily an art form to them, but they seem to have kind of a pattern.
Yeah.
And they're not all like just like QVC is a channel where it kind of is an infomercial, but it's more of like a product demo. And I think that's different necessarily than an infomercial. Infomercials are going to be like on your usual channels, where it's like your common public broadcasting channels, and they just had a slot and they wanted to throw in the Weed Whacker 2000 demo commercial.
Well, I think there are some channels that just do infomercials.
Yeah, I agree.
That are straight up. But I think the other thing that infomercials often have associated with them is pretty ridiculous products. So not every single one, but I think that's kind of what makes it the funniest.
Yeah.
Is that they have these very odd products. Either it's like a thing that probably won't actually work at all, like it's advertised, or it's such a niche, strange thing that it does. Their whole deal is to try to convince you that you need this thing.
Yes.
And yet you don't. It's a very strange niche thing. So like, like there's those as seen on TV things. Like one time I saw this thing that was all it did was take the stem off of a strawberry. It was like this little thing that it's like a little plastic kind of deal, and then you put it in and you got just like twist it around and then you pull out and it just
That sounds great.
Except for that it's like such a stupid and very niche thing that can be done with just anything in your kitchen. Like, you can take the pit out of a strawberry. It's also not like strawberries are like a hard-shelled... like,
just a stem.
Yeah, just a stem, I mean. But like it takes that little part around it too.
Yeah, right.
But what's so strange is that you can do that really easily by hand, or you could use like a knife or a spoon or a paper clip or like anything. But they convince you that, wow, it really is hard to take the stems off of strawberries. I've been wasting so much time de-stemming my strawberries.
It would make my life so much better.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. It's just, I think that what marks infomercials apart from other commercials too, is that they tend to have that level of ridiculousness.
Yeah, that's
either
what I
it's
was gonna say.
not going to work or it's a very niche product that's kind of ridiculous.
I think a lot of infomercials do have that kind of comparison aspect, and a lot of it is like super exaggerated. Like you always have like the black and white video scenes where somebody's like cleaning a counter and they can't get it, or they're just like, you see these pans and they're advertising a cleaner for these pans.
Yeah.
And like the pan is just like looked like it went through a house fire. Like it's just like burned to a crisp. And they're like, people are trying to scrape it off with their scrub brush or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they show the cleaner, they show the new pan that's like non-stick or whatever, and it's like sparkling and it's new and it's like there's not a scratch or a spot on it, and it's so easy to clean, and you're like, oh man, like I gotta get this because it's so I think that they do that to make it seem like this will really change your life, but when you actually get the product, it's always, I don't know, I feel like it's always like unknown. Like it's kind of like, I feel like this didn't change my life as much as they said it would. Yeah.
There was a few infomercial type toy things I remember as a kid that I was really interested in. And like, did you ever remember Marvin's Magic Drawing Board or something like that?
No.
Okay. This was ridiculous. It was basically a frame, like a kind of, I don't know how large, just to say like 10 by 10 or something, and basically the whole premise was that it was like a very colorful background, and they had some sort of black goo kind of thing that was on top of it, and then they had a screen of like plastic, and so it's kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch, but what you do is you take something, like they had these different tools with it or whatever, and you would draw something by basically you'd be pushing the black goo kind of thing away, which would reveal the colorful thing under it.
Wow.
And so you could like take even like something as wide as like a spatula and drag it across it, and that would make this really wide, colorful drawing. It's such a simple and kind of not that cool of a toy, but and you would just draw and stuff on it or whatever. And but what they made it look like on the commercials was that it was just like incredible. Like they always make it look so easy and like really beautiful. Like, whoa, it's just like all these cool things, and they would make it to where you could like in the commercial they'd have these kids doing it to like make it like be like Jam's room and like put that on their door, and it's like this really cool, colorful like sign. We bought one of those.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How did it work?
We bought just one, and my brothers and I shared it, and it was like a super letdown.
Classic.
And then, but it did work. It just was like, oh, this is it. And then we did one of those. There was this infomercial for like this stuff that was like this goo that you could play with, and you could like blow bubbles with it and glow in the dark and stuff. And I remember we like ordered it, and then it took like 4 weeks to like ever get to our house.
Oh, man.
And then it was like not that cool. It was just like, man, I've been so burned by
you really have
infomercial toys.
You've had a bad experience.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Dude, we're here for you.
Have you ever gone down the infomercial rabbit hole?
Sort of. Not really. My dad did once, and I got to use the product. So we once bought a Works GT weed whacker. I know I was joking about the weed whacker 2000 earlier, but it's because like that's what I think of as like lawn tools, because those are the ones that we ever like keep watching. Anyway, so the Works GT weed whacker was actually a pretty cool idea. It had a couple of features like, it would twist, so you could like twist the weed thing, and it could be an edger. The line was special, and it was like they sold you on like getting the specific line that was already like pre-filled, and literally you just put it in like a new cartridge. You didn't have to like spool new line on there. So they show video shots of somebody with like this just knots everywhere, and they're like, oh, it's so hard. Line was actually pretty good, but the quality of it was not the greatest. I think they've gotten better since then, because I think I started seeing them at Home Depot now. Like they'll sell the Works GT things, and it's battery powered, so you can recharge it and stuff. And so over time, it lasted us probably about 4 years. I used it when I was, doing our lawn, and I even had a small lawn mowing business when I was like a teenager, and it kind of helped. But just after a while, we just needed to have to like duct tape things. The batteries weren't holding a charge. So it was kind of like a neutral. It was like a neutral experience with that. But my dad saw an infomercial about it, and he was like, oh, Jay, we saw this great weed whacker online. I think I'm going to buy it. And I think it was pretty affordable too. And so I'd say this is one of the ones where the quality was decent, the price matched it, and we ended up with kind of just a decent thing that helped us for a couple of years. So, so nothing negative, but nothing like super positive about it.
Interesting.
That was probably the most memorable infomercial buying experience that we've had.
It's so crazy too, because like I think some of them get away with selling something that isn't even going to work from day one, and we haven't had that experience necessarily, but like I've heard that to be the case. Like those companies like are can be pretty shady, like the way they're set up, and I'm kind of like, how does that even?
It's the risk
happen? How's that possible? But I guess
it's free market, man.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of the free market. So
yep, that's the beauty.
I think another thing that really sells products on infomercials are the celebrities, or they aren't celebrities, and then they just become famous because of a specific thing that they sell. For example, Billy Mays. Everybody knows him. Rest in peace. Who's the guy who does the ShamWow commercials? Is it Tony something?
I don't remember, but then there's also the Anthony Sullivan guy or whatever who was with Billy Mays.
Okay.
But I don't remember who did the ShamWow.
Yeah, ShamWow was the guy. He had like the Britney Spears headset, and he'd be like, call in the next 20 minutes because we can't do this all day. It's like, this is obviously recorded. There's no way this is live.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's like waiting there, People are chomping at the bit and they like have a limited supply of them or something.
Yep.
Yeah, gosh, it is weird. They get famous. I guess that's what you're hoping. You're hoping that you're a personality level to the point where not only just the product itself, but also your
like people
enthusiasm
like you
is gonna
They're like, man, this guy is so excited about the product, and I like him as a person. I gotta try this out. I gotta try the ShamWow.
Yeah.
But everybody, like I've used a ShamWow maybe once in my life, and I see the benefit of it. I don't feel like I need to have something that's so thick that it just absorbs like a pond. But it's memorable. Like I know about the ShamWow because of this guy, and because there was so much like publicity about it.
The names of the products are gonna also be ridiculous.
Yeah,
ShamWow is a great example. It's just like I think a chamois or sham something is already a thing, and then they just made this be adding the wow on
because more memorable. I think isn't the one like the original word for it is like a shambo or something like that, like CHAMBOIS. I think.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen an original one that wasn't a ShamWow. And
you know what we didn't think about?
What?
Snuggies.
That's another one.
Or Slanket, which is like the off-brand one, which is a sleeve blanket.
That just sounds like a weird name. Snuggies.
The Snuggie. That
one
was
an infomercial?
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Yep. Oh my gosh. Dude, oh my gosh. I cannot believe I forgot about that.
That's amazing.
When I was in high school, a friend and I made videos to pass the time in West Texas. One of the ones we did was an infomercial.
Classic.
Yep.
Classic home video.
Yeah.
The infomercial.
making sort of fun of the Life Alert type of elderly.
Wow. Oh, Life Alert. That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one. Life Alert was like that little thing that because now we have cell phones. It's like, okay, you could text somebody.
Still.
But whatever. Life Alert. And so we made it be Poop Alert. And it was this thing to help you know when you might be about to need to go to the bathroom because of the common issue of your knowledge of your bowels becoming less and less accurate, I guess you could say, maybe over time, where you could be prone to accidents at a certain age. And so our infomercial was...
How interesting. Teenage boys.
And it was our most popular video among middle schoolers. Like, we kind of were always like...
Perfect.
Yeah, we were always like, well, we shouldn't have made that. It's kind of ridiculous. And then all these middle schoolers were always like... we love Poop Alert.
They probably were searching for it.
Yeah, it's just because of the whole potty humor thing. It's like middle schoolers eat that up.
Kind of like the eye hungy.
Hungy. Oh, the eye jammer. Yeah,
the eye jammer. One of the best infomercials to ever not be real.
Yeah. That might be all the time we have. I'm not sure. I'm amazed at how much infomercial stuff we could talk about.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can just go on. We could go on for at least another 29 minutes.
Yeah.
But we can't do this all day. So I guess the moral of the story is just make sure you don't buy anything weird.
And Amazon is kind of the new infomercial, so just go with Amazon instead. I think at this point is a better
Or
bet.
just go to the As Seen on TV store, and you can check out the item in person. They have those. They have those stores.
Wow.
As Seen on TV stores.
Yeah. That sounds like
that's like a big deal when you're like, As Seen on TV, and you have like the red little stamp on there.
Yeah. It just sounds like such a
It makes it so much more official. So much more legit.
Okay. All right. All right. See you guys next time.
See ya.